I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now, what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
Oh, give me fucking truth, baby. Come on. Let's go.
How have I been this successful in life?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another edition of the MMA Analysis Podcast. Coming off the Montreal screw job MMA style. We'll fucking Vinnie Mac. You think he's out of the game, and he just sneaks back in there to shit on somebody else's chest. That's what he did, right? Like there was a whole bunch of stuff.
One of them, yeah, one of the many things that
laundry list
degenerate did.
Anyway, we're here. We're going to talk about some fights. For Shaun and I, it's a long weekend coming up, so I don't know if we will be anywhere near our houses or TVs to watch this stuff, but we think it's more likely that we're going to watch this week's card than next week's card. So we decided to break this one down, and we'll see where she goes. Shaun, how you doing? Looking forward to
definitely not.
Weekend?
Of course. Definitely not breaking down anything next week because next week's off, and then the next week is an absolute.
You knew what I meant.
Fire. I know, but some people are sticklers. Yeah, I mean it's a good time of year. The hockey team's doing well, and it's a long weekend. The weather's finally nice, and yeah, I can't win a bet to save my life though. In MMA anyway.
It happens. We go through those streaks. I feel like you're still doing all right for the year so far.
No, I pissed it all away. I did the same thing last year. I went up all of it, man.
Same.
Oh my goodness.
I've crashed and burned over the past few weeks.
It's bad, man. Like this is the second straight year where I went up almost 20 units in the first like 3 months, and then just cold streak. And turns out betting Michael Chandler against Patty and betting Bilal and betting fucking Alexa Grasso is a bad idea.
I think like part of it is the fact that I've cut back on MMA betting to a ridiculous degree, but I'm still living off that like Jaime Barcelos money from January.
Wow.
That's
not everybody's hitting plus 800s.
I mean, I did, and I still blew it all.
Yes, but
you make yourself bet a whole lot more than I do these days. So
I literally had like 12 or 13 plays Saturday. I can't help myself.
12 or 13 bets. There we go. Yeah, I had the consensus last week because you can't say it and not do it.
Play it.
But that was the only thing I bet on last week's card, which I think probably
saved
worked out well
money
for me.
Yeah.
We'll see what we come up with this week. But Wesley, how are things down in the bluegrass state?
Doing good. Yeah, weather's nice. Staying busy. Kid is keeping me. Well, he's trying to keep me young, but man, he like busts me up. I got like sore ribs. He's wild, man. It's
dropping the elbows on you from the top rope.
Well, he more likes to grab on the neck and hang on the back, and it's just whenever I'm here, you don't sit down. You sit down, you're carrying. It's like those nature videos. You literally have an animal hanging on your back the entire time. Don't be 45 and have a 4-year-old. Just word of advice. This shit is tough.
Sports yet? You got to get him start
close. It's very close. It's really close. I can't wait.
That's gonna save your life.
Yep.
Yeah. Just get some other kids to that he can knock the shit out of, and then
right.
He doesn't have to do it to dad anymore. So
yeah.
We've got some fights to talk about. As always, this is one of the best times of year of the year for other sports, not necessarily MMA, but I think we all watched at least bits and pieces of last week's card. I'm sure Wes and Shaun watched far more than I did.
Yes.
We'll get there when we get to the weekly over under. I think we went all the way up to 2.5 last week when we were setting the line for this week, right? So we're gonna have to see where that one comes in. A little bit of suspense for you. But let's kick it off right at the top of last week's card. The welterweight championship. I didn't find this out until like sometime on Sunday afternoon, because I'm not sure if I was the only one that didn't watch it, but it doesn't seem like it. Didn't sound like a whole lot of interest in Jack Della Maddalena becoming the welterweight champion with unanimous decision over Bilal Muhammad. Just sprawling and brawling here, Shaun. Is that what the Aussie did?
I mean, a little bit, but Bilal
Way
didn't
beyond
really
that,
shoot. Didn't shoot too much. I call me square as fuck. I just did not see this coming. Last time we saw Maddalena, it was how many months ago? It was over a year ago, and he was losing one-sidedly to Gilbert Burns before the Hail Mary knee. And then we got Bilal Muhammad, who's a better grappler,
Everything.
MMA grappler than Gilbert Burns, and he got it was still a fairly close fight, but
The fifth was the deciding round.
Yeah, it ended up being, I don't know if that is how it should have been. I think it was probably the correct score was 4-1, but 3-2 is fine. Yeah, it's close. I mean, I bet
two rounds were like really close that you could have. They would the 49-46 was definitely more fair than if it would have been the other way. Absolutely,
definitely. But yeah, it's pretty surprising. I mean, the line wasn't that wide, but it was one of the more surprising results for me anyway.
LR, you've got to subscribe to the premium package because we were on Air Force against Cornell, or sorry, Air Force was against Maryland. We stayed away from the Cornell game, so that's fine. And then whatever other one, it was an under of some sort that I'm sure. Oh,
Maryland, right?
Q's Harvard game. Harvard
Yep.
went under on. So yeah, it was. It's been an all right tourney so far in the old NCAA lax, but hopefully we pick it up a little bit. Anyways, I digress. Wesley, your thoughts on the main event?
Yeah, I know. I mean, first off, like most people were surprised by that result. Like it wasn't just us. Like I will say, like from that Burns fight to the Bilal fight, the difference in JDM's, not only his takedowns, his work with Bilal against the cage on him, and his get-ups. He had a get-up in the fifth that literally won him the fight. Bilal got a takedown with about a couple minutes into the fifth and couldn't even control JD. He was immediately up. He did that a couple times in the fight. That was just, who saw that coming? You to take that big a jump, and it was like drastic. I know Bilal didn't look like he shot a lot of takedowns, but he got inside on that cage a lot where he trips guys and stuff and gets them down there. He couldn't do it. He literally, JDM was landing this like inside elbow every time Bilal came in to get a hold of him. It literally split his lip wide in the fifth.
It was nasty.
Face broke his orbital bone, broke his nose. Those were all those little elbows he kept landing when Bilal was coming in to get a hold of him. Just drastic improvement, man. Like insane chin. Like Bilal landed shit. Hell, in the fifth, like JDM's eye was closing. It was shutting.
Can we say that anyone has an insane chin for surviving some clean shots from Bilal?
Bilal was
His eye was
landing on him,
closing.
man. His eye was
Yeah.
about shut in the fifth. Like that was, and I will say, like that was an incredible fight. Props to Bilal and JDM. That
Easily
fight was-
Bilal's most fun fight.
yeah, hands down, not even close. But look, JDM's pretty awesome, but I think he's about to like actually see some legitimate like wrestling and shit, and he's probably going to be in trouble in his next fight. But I do hate all this kind of scrambled up bullshit we're doing now with all the belts and people moving up and people moving down. Like it's kind of dumb. I guess we're getting some decent fights out of it, but yeah, props to JDM, man. Hell of a performance. And I don't think Bilal is he even going to sniff the title again? Like
They won't.
No.
I
Look how much it.
Come on.
They don't
don't see
want
it.
him anywhere near that.
Yeah, I
They
don't
gave
see
him
it.
a shot by
They had
accident the
to.
first time, and he won. They're not
Yeah.
gonna
Well,
do
because
it
he
again.
won like 10 fights straight, too. It was almost to the point where you couldn't like not give him one. Now it's like, nah, bro, you got beat by a dude that was barely beat Gilly Burns. You know what I'm saying? Who's probably about to get smoked. We'll talk about that, but yeah.
It's people always talk about these long layoffs as being bad, and like they can be if the guy's at a point where maybe he's gonna physically decline, or like they're a prospect that really should get cage time. But JDM's like what, 27, 28, something like
Yeah,
that.
he's young. Yeah.
Dude had a broken arm too. He kind of had to take some time off too, you know.
Yeah, but
I'm
like
sure
a
that
few years
healed
is a
other
lot.
things too. Yeah, he probably
Yeah,
healed up other things as well. Yeah.
And it's not even healing. It's just like when you're kind of in the early mid parts of your career like that, you can just get a lot better by being in the gym and not getting the shit beaten out of you training for a fight. So
And we're just used to seeing old guys at 170, so it's kind of nice to see some young blood.
That
Not
is
bad.
very, very true. 170's like a little bit better. It's good to see like old ass Usman and guys like that move on. Like if we could get Shave Cat fucking healthy, and then however you feel about Gary and shit, like it's actually nice to have some new like decent fighters at 170. Like no doubt, JDM's fun. Like win or lose, that guy was always a fun fight, and now looks pretty like. I wish he would defend against some other 170ers though. We're not gonna get that though, and I don't know if that's gonna be good for him, man. I think that might end up bad.
Speaking of which, there was title fights and stuff announced. I don't care about most of them, but lightweight championship.
Our boy's
coming
getting the
up.
bell back.
It's coming home, baby. It's coming home. Love it.
Two to one dog. You know what I'm saying? Like
He's more than 2-1.
is he? It was like 220
you can just
open
keep
or something,
waiting
right?
on that one.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
gonna keep going up.
Yep.
Because
He is.
we know the story.
Plus 285. It got all the way up to plus 330.
That's insane.
Somebody was like, "This is too much. I gotta take a little of this."
Yeah.
I think it gets back there before that fight happens. It's gonna be
Once they start hyping it up.
Yeah. Who else? The Chimiev line seemed a little bit low to me too. I don't know how that got bet. I haven't got to look at them.
It is minus 200.
So money came in the other way then, right?
Yep. It opened minus 200, went to minus 170, and then it was
okay.
minus 190 for a while, and now it's back.
Gotcha.
To minus 200.
Yeah, even since I've refreshed the page since the start of the podcast, I've seen some Dubronks come back down. It looks like it's only Cambies that have like the big lines at this point, so they're just slow. But yeah, that's it's gonna be a fun one. A couple nice fights to look forward to during the summer, as there should be. But
Hope so.
we will keep it going with this card. Also didn't watch this fight, as I said, and held true to my word. I went to bed after that. I don't even think I went to bed. I just flipped back to whatever else I was watching instead of MMA after the Aldo fight, out of absolute disgust. But in the co-main event, Shevchenko retains the title against Manon Fiorot. Shaun, I believe you actually suggested this as a consensus last week, and Wes and I said we liked it the least of all the stuff that we talked about, and it's probably the only one that won.
And I didn't play it.
Wonderful. Glad we talked
Damn,
about
at least
that.
I played
Welcome.
it. Shit.
Idiot.
Anyway, don't care, but thoughts.
Yeah, who cares? Close the division. Let's go.
That's right. Wes?
Yeah, I mean, Chev is a dog. Like, come on. Man on fire. What a hype job. Just another hyped up. Gets in a moment. They're just not good. They're just not good. Like, none of them's like actually skilled and shit.
She got dropped by fucking Shevchenko twice.
I mean, look, there's like a couple chicks that are like actually skilled and decent at fighting. Like Shevchenko's one of them, and she just smokes these chicks. Like, it's just not even really fun to watch.
But she's still like a young up and coming prospect at 35.
30,
like, she'll
35,
be back,
yeah.
right?
She's got
she'll be
plenty
back.
of time, bro. She'll build herself back up. Plenty of time, man.
Anyway, let's get to the people's main event of the card. Jose Aldo wins unanimous decision over Ayman Zahabi, to everyone watching except the 3 people that mattered. Yeah, this was, there were parts of this fight that were extremely enjoyable. You got some like vintage Aldo marching a guy down and just like
soccer
throwing
rib roaster,
throwing whatever he wanted in super speed, and like the knockdown in the third round. It was the third round, right? Yeah, it was the third round.
Yep.
And honestly, this was the best I think that Zahabi's ever looked in a fight. He did some good shit and like waited till Aldo slowed down in rounds and then tried to get his stuff going and did a decent enough job surviving that it was a competitive fight. But man, like, I could see if you wanted, even with the knockdown and everything in the third round, I could see a draw.
I couldn't. I don't think you can give. You can't give that third at 10-8.
How are you getting a draw?
The third at 10-8. There's no way you can give it.
How can you give a guy a 10-8 when he got dropped and almost?
He got soccer kicked in the head twice and was literally said after, I didn't even know
he
where
survived
I was.
it, and then the other guy died.
Yeah, but he died. But he didn't.
Honestly, at first, when I saw Aldo like basically pull guard, I was just like, oh, I've seen this in like the Hominick fight and the Ricardo Lamas fight and like all this sort of stuff where where he gets gassed and like he goes on bottom and like, but all of those times he's been able to avoid stuff. Like, he was getting fucking lit up by the end of the third round. Like, that was getting ugly. So I don't know. Anyway, I feel like if I am willing to go 10-8 in the third, as like one of the big Aldo guys, it's not totally unreasonable.
If he didn't have him almost like knocked out,
he almost finished him.
He literally almost. He was just as close as. But like, I get your point too, because the end of that round was bad. Like, it was very bad, man.
Yeah, but it was more bad because Aldo was tired more than like.
I get it. I wouldn't have given it a 10.
He was tired, but then he was starting to get like, I don't know.
He was, but I mean, if you take out the exhaustion part and just look at damage, that is a close round that I would give the edge to Aldo. I didn't even bet Aldo.
See, that was me too. I thought the third was like close, but I scored it for Zahabi. But I thought it was close because people just kind of completely dismissed what happened at the beginning of the round. Like, that was wild.
The ground and pound at the end was too long for you to
I
score
get
that
it.
for Aldo.
I get it. That's why I did
Way
like
too long.
I'd lean Zahabi. I scored it for Zahabi, the third. Like I just thought it was close. There was so many people like, that's a 10-8 round. I'm like, do y'all not remember what happened like 3 minutes ago? He like soccer kicked this guy twice. The fucking building was going insane when Aldo's head kicking this dude across the cage. Like there's no way there's no way that's a 10-8 round. There's no fucking way. But I gave it to Zahabi. I gave the third to Zahabi. He still lost that fight. Like Aldo won the first 2 rounds of that fight. Like,
yes,
I know.
Zahabi had like a good 30 seconds at the end of the first round and like a decent minute at the end of the second round, but that was insane.
And shout out to our boy Dan Tom. Like, if they would count any form of body work in this sport, those first 2 rounds weren't even close. They were clear and decisive Aldo rounds if judges would even look at body work, because the rib roasters he landed on Zahabi in the first 2 rounds were fucking just nasty, man. He won those 2 rounds by body work alone, and they gave the second to Zahabi. That is nuts, man.
Ridiculous.
And then, like, the sad part is we have to watch Aldo literally break down in the cage, get no kind of like fanfare like they did for fucking Anthony Smith, because nobody thought he would be like retiring, because he probably didn't think I think getting robbed again, he felt it, and that like was it wasn't even like he might have been thinking about like, man, I'm getting towards the end. This weight cut really fucked me up this time. But to get robbed back to back like that, I think right there in the moment, he was just like, that's why I think he's going to box again or something, because that had to be like a really, really tough moment for him. Thinking he like, most people thought he won the fight. I don't even just think just him. Like most people thought he won that fight, and to get robbed again like that had to be like fucking devastating to him.
It was tough. That was tough for sure. Yeah.
If he is done with MMA though, where's he on your rankings, Brad? I mean, we know he's top 5 all time, regardless. But where do you put him?
I still gotta go. Right? I gotta go GSP 1. I think I'm going Aldo 2. I think Aldo's still. I think he's still my 2. Not necessarily like the reign of dominance at featherweight was so long, and
I know
as much as people are like, oh, he lost to Connor and then like lost to the next generation of great fighters.
Yeah, he just cleared out a generation, and then this generation doesn't. They don't remember him cleaning out 2 generations of fighters.
But even beyond that, and like his career lasting for what, 10 years beyond that,
and in another weight class too.
Yeah, where he was top 10, top 5 the entire time. That dude is just like technically the best fighter that I've ever seen.
Might be technically the all-around best fighter. Like I get GSP's wrestling kind of sets him apart from most, but all around
if GSP and Aldo were the same size, there is zero fucking chance that GSP's taking him down. Like maybe in the 5th round.
Aldo would win that hypothetical fight because of his takedown defense, like straight up. But just like the evolution of Aldo from leg kicker, kind of more, that style, then turning into more of a boxing style, rib roasting, all the while having that takedown defense. I mean, I don't put him, for me, of course, John, even though he's the shittiest motherfucker ever. I don't know, man. I kind of want to like rank Aldo second as well, man. I know it's GSP Anderson and those 4, but Aldo's right there, man. He did some things we probably won't see many guys. Not the way those divisions are now, how fucking loaded and stacked they are. Not saying Aldo fought like weak competition coming up, because there was a lot of good fighters, but man, those lighter weight divisions now are just fucking stacked.
Yeah. And like everything is where I think in previous eras, some of the best guys probably could have
got better internet,
been passed over and never actually made it to the UFC or made it to the big spots. That shouldn't happen now. It might for like financial reasons more than anything. But all of the best fighters have exposure now where they should get to that level. But yeah, it's I think there's a relatively clear top 6 of all time.
Get the internet in there before you start.
Crapshoot after those dudes.
Say that again, Brad. You cut out. Say what you just said about your.
I said I think there's a relatively clear top 6 of all time, and then after that, it's kind of a crapshoot for the next 15 spots.
So who's your top 6? I mean, we got to get them now. Fuck.
Yeah. John, Aldo, GSB, Anderson, Demetrius, and Fedor.
I gotta agree. I think he hit it right there.
A lot of people will probably be like, "Oh, you don't have the fucking Russian in there."
You have how many title defenses?
Exactly. Yeah. So
I mean, I think he's right below. Those guys were just generational. You're talking about just dudes that changed
longevity.
And they changed the game of how it was fought and shit. Yeah.
Anyway, that's mine.
Yep.
Shaun, Aldo, all time. Where we got him for you?
It's always tough just because it's hard to, when these guys fight for so long. Obviously, there's going to be some rough spots along the way. But if you just look at his prime, I mean, it's got to be, 3rd or 4th for me.
Fair. Honestly, if you don't have those rough spots, you probably didn't fight long enough or fight.
Yeah, that's the Russian. That's the Russian.
Yep.
So there you go. Anyway, we've got a whole bunch more to get through. So speed through the last 2 of this main card. Natalia Silva gets unanimous decision over Alexa Grasso. I saw this one, so we're at 2 fights now. Will we hit the over 2.5? Who knows? Lots of running around and pot shotting. Didn't really care. It was boring. I only just turned it on because I didn't want to miss the Aldo fight when it came on. So, and then to start off the main card, the big swing in Denny with it took him all the way to the 2nd round.
Easy money.
Kyle Prophylactic out of there. As Wes alluded to, that starts round 2. Easy. The over 1.5 just slightly gets there as well. Yep. But Shaun, any thoughts on those main card fights?
Silva's just frustrating to watch, but unfortunately, most of these women can't do much about it. So what are you going to do? We'll see what she can do. I think she's next for Shevchenko unless she fights Weili next. I think she'll get taken down a peg or 2 after that fight, but we'll see. And BSD looked terrible.
Yeah, Silva is going to get absolutely humbled by Shevchenko. She's not going to have a chick running chin first at her, winging horrible shots and not being able to cut off the cage whatsoever. That's going to be a dumb fight. BSD does look bad. He took some shots from Prophylactic that he was stunned a couple times in that fight. I don't know if people saw that, but he got cracked a couple times in that fight. That he's chinny, bro. That's what Dustin showed something in that guy, man. And not being able to finish that guy and stuff as long as he did on his back and shit. I don't know, man. I'll be looking to fade big swinging. If who was it he was supposed to fight? Was it
Alvarez? Joel Alvarez.
I said it after this fight. Joe Alvarez will knock that guy out. He will fucking smoke BSD. Watch. What was that line, Shaun? Wasn't there a line out for that? I want to say Joe Alvarez was favored, right?
I think he was minus 170 or something. I'll have to do some looking.
I mean, you can say it was Poirier or anybody else, but Elias Dushku showed it back in the day.
Yeah.
I know that was
Yeah.
short notice, up a weight class, all that sort of stuff. But if that sort of dude is taking you like to the edge of death, then you're going to be in for a rough ride when you start to get into the top of the division. Never mind the prophylactics of the world. Prelim time, Mike Malott, second round stoppage over Charles Radke. You love to see that. Jasmine Jazidovicius, the first round rear naked choke over Andrade. I think
Future champ.
Andrade is, definitely future champ now, right after Silva. Andrade is on the way out, I think, at this point. Morris Bukaki with the split decision over the cute labia. That was my nickname in high school. That whole thing. The whole.
Here comes Brad Modest Bukaki over the cute labia.
Split decision.
I'll split
Fun times. Navajo Sterling. Unanimous decision over Ivan Arslan. This one I actually picked correctly. Man, Bruno Silva does not want to be fighting.
Nope.
I don't think he is anymore.
Yeah, like somebody stop him if it's not him that stops him. But the Marc-Andre Barriouch, if that dude's stopping you within 90 seconds, that's not great.
Then
Willie Cat.
Did you see they're feeding old Barriouch right back to fucking
the fucking shit Madoff?
Yeah, shit Madoff. They're giving him right to shit Madoff. Man,
that's when's that one happening?
The Abu Dhabi card when it's headlined by Dorder and Whitaker. Yeah, that's the only.
Jeez,
gonna fight.
I thought Trump was the deal maker. He can't get these guys over to the U.S. Come on.
Not the one-eyed guy. The other, everybody else he can. The one-eyed guy is that's a.
Donnie's deal making is like, you're gonna give me this. They're like, no, we're not. He's like, okay. Like that's his deal making.
Well, I'm gonna give you that. So.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna give you this. Yeah, that's the fucking art of the deal.
A Willie Cat unanimous decision over John Young Lee, and I don't know if this doesn't count because I only saw the finish, but the finish was kind of the whole fight. The best cat just absolutely smokes Brad Katona a minute into the fight, so I'm gonna leave this up to the judge's decision. Personally, I think under 2.5. I didn't intentionally watch that; it showed up on the feed. But what say ye about A, the over/under, and B, the prelims?
I mean, you only watched a minute and 4 seconds. The under takes it.
If it's on a screen.
Oh, I didn't watch a minute and 4 seconds.
No, if it's on a screen, it's playing. If you're in the vicinity and it's on a screen, that counts.
No, it wasn't on a screen. It was on my phone after the fact.
Yeah, don't count. No, it's under.
Right. Under it is.
Yeah, I don't care too much about any of those prelims. Cute labia, that was a bad decision, and that robbed me of my one win on Saturday.
Wes,
the Malott finish was like the arena caught just saying fuck you, Radke, and the finish. Our boy Capoza showed a video. Radke's talking shit while he's on his back, literally getting knocked the fuck out.
Dribbled.
He's still trying to say something.
I did see that clip too.
All of that was perfect. Yeah, we're gonna get old Jasmine here. 35-year-old prospect.
Up and coming future champ.
Willie Cat look good, man. That guy needs to fight. Like stop taking these 2-year layoffs, man. Like that guy, he needs to fight, man. The cute labia fight was horrible. That was a horrible decision. One of the dudes that scored that for Old Modest hadn't reffed a fight since like the last Canadian card, like 3 or 4 years.
2016.
Yeah, it was like, wow, that guy hadn't reffed any MMA fight since then. Like, what are we doing? And yeah, that uppercut from some French dude from Canada. Like nobody knows. Like he doesn't like rep fights.
Procopio?
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, Pascal.
Well, yeah,
Pasquale.
Procopio. The last
Not
time
good.
he judged a UFC fight was UFC 206 in 2016.
Holy
UFC
shit.
fight. Yeah.
When just judging by your comments and what I'm looking at on MMA decisions, when Jaron Vallel is the only one that gets it right.
You're in trouble.
He didn't even get it right. He got it wrong still. I mean, Bukaki won the third, but the first two were pretty easy to give to Cute Lady.
Yeah.
Cocktail
Yeah, I mean,
better towards the end of it.
If you can make it that long is always the question. Especially with a
anything
cute
else
lady
on
like
that
that
note?
looking at.
That's my nickname in high school. Anything else on this, or are we good? We took way too long on that, but we had some stuff to talk about. So. Fair enough. We move on. We're back to the warehouse, boys. You gotta love it. 12 fights in the Apex this weekend. We're kicking it off in the women's strawweight division. Luana Pinheiro taking on Tisha Pennington. Shaun,
Got a family to feed.
Break this down. Not too long, but long enough for me to get a beer here.
I'll just kick it over to Wes. I'm not spending much time on this. The number seems wide, but I don't know. Based on last week, I'm not very good at picking these big female dogs anymore. But plus 300, like Tisha Pennington minus 400, that seems crazy. But I am not putting money on a fight that is this low level.
Wes, do you remember when a prominent MMA podcaster turned Tisha gay?
Oh man, it was that haircut, you know. It was the chin strap that did it.
There you go.
Torres is gonna win a decision here, but that's like minus 200. Like, what are we doing? I want nothing to do with this shit.
Same. I got my beer. Mission accomplished. Next up, flyweight division. Hyung-Sung Park taking on Carlos Hernandez. I've got nothing on this fight, but I'm going to take the guy that's not Carlos Hernandez. And Shaun, you can go.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not a terrible idea. I just Park his big win in the UFC is Shannon Ross, and that is nothing to write home about, especially when it was numerically it was a close striking fight before he dropped him obviously twice, but I'll pick Park, but who cares?
Wes, who does care?
Yeah, this is rough. Yeah, I lean Park, but not laying that juice. Hernandez is tough. I think whoever you lean in this fight, if you want to make a bet, you take them by decision at plus money. Hernandez is like over 2-1 decision. He's going to stay in the fight, so it might be close, but lean Park, no bet.
That's fair. That's probably a good call because over is what, like minus 220, something like that in here. It's over 200 for sure. Anyway, we are moving it on to back to the women's strawweight division because why not? Denise Gomes taking on Elise Reed. Just a battle of the Titans here, Shaun. Who we got?
No, UFC putting 3 of the first 4 fights women's.
They want people to leave and not come back home, dog. Like,
I mean, nobody's going to the Apex to watch this shit, but I don't think people are going to be tuning in until much deeper into this card. It's wild to see these absolute monster women's favorites, and historically you probably should take the dog in this situation, but I don't know. They've been coming through. So I guess I'll pick Denise Combs.
Wes.
yeah, I mean, sadly, I'd look at Gomes as a pick. Like, I don't know what you better. I think there's a possibility that Gomes can get a finish here on Elise Reed, though. She's very, very bad, and if you give her a chance to get the fuck out of there, she'll get out of there. Gomes sub is like over 5-1 at Bet Online. I don't think that's a bad spot to throw a couple bucks on it if you want something on this fight. But besides that, like, you can't really do much with a minus 650 women's fight.
I'm trying to calculate. So this is probably going to be happening around 5 o'clock my time. And that's going to be on Saturday, the Cottage. I'll be absolutely.
You're going under 0.5 on this card. The line is 0.5.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%. I'm going to be banged up at this point, but I feel like as I'm refreshing the Twitter or just like maybe once in a while going to Tapology, I might want something to cheer for on this one. So I'm debating between Wes. Now I can't do the sub. Like, I don't think she could sub a Subway sandwich.
Inside is plus money too on a minus 650.
So maybe we'll put like $25 on Elise Reed by decision plus 800. Just so I've got something to be like,
man,
a little fist pump about right when we're turning the barbecue on for dinner. Women's bantamweight division: Luana Santos, Tainara Lisboa.
Come on, man.
Shaun, why do they do this to us or anyone? You know what? I guess anybody who tunes in, watches these first 4 fights, it's what
you get what you deserve.
Exactly. I have no sympathy for you.
And what we deserve is for a hard pass on this fight.
Wes, I assume it's the same.
I have absolutely nothing on this fight. What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't have any memory of watching either of them fight, but I'm sure they've both fought in the UFC like 6 times at this point. This is just what we're doing these days. Not getting a whole lot better in the featherweight division. Connor Matthews. Hey, we're equal opportunity discriminators here. All right. When it comes to shitty fights are shitty fights. Connor Matthews taking on something called Yadier del Valle. That means Yadier of the Valley, Shaun.
Good to know. Connor Matthews is terrible, as you can see by who he's lost to in the UFC. This guy, other guy was on the Contender Series and won a decision. Contender Series guys have, feel like they've been doing a lot better lately. It's also hard to know just because they give everybody contracts at this point. So a lot of that could just be me not remembering them. But I'll pick some Contender Series guys. He's minus 430. I would fucking hope he wins.
That's a big number for a Contender Series fella. Wes, he's nicknamed the Cuban Problem, which could be taken very different ways. If it's an American guy that gave him the nickname, it's like he's the Cuban Problem, it's that thing. But he's a Cuban guy that gave him the nickname, and he's the Cuban Problem. legit. So where are we siding here?
I don't know. He better stay out of Arizona, or he's probably going to have a call into ice on his ass really quick.
He's gonna be in Nicaragua.
This man's going to be in
El Salvador.
El Salvador, fucking washing his drawers in the toilet. Yeah, I don't know, man. Connor Matthews is absolute trash. Been knocked out a couple of times now. I don't know if this guy's got any finishing ability whatsoever, though. I was looking at his decision. It's like some plus money, but fuck, I don't know, man. I don't even think I can pull the trigger on that at this point. And I bet like everything. So I'm gonna pick him, but yeah, I just don't care, man. This shit's so bad. Connor Matthews against the Cuban projectile problem. Like, it's not even a missile crisis at this point. It's a fucking projectile problem.
They're trying to throw frisbees across the Florida. Can we get a frisbee over there? No.
Oh my god.
Yeah. You know what? I feel bad for Connor Matthews because we're all saying that he's shit, and
You don't feel bad.
He's made it to the UFC. MMA is his calling in life or whatever, but
Sad.
It's not good. Never seen the Valley Man. So I have no opinion on this other than why is this fight on a UFC card? Next up, this one, even if they're old and busted, I get why this one's on a UFC card. I've heard of them. They've fought before, fought decent guys, fought well against decent guys sometimes. Jared Gordon, Thiago Moises. Shaun, what do we got here?
It was a tough one. I think it's probably lined pretty correctly. It's basically a pick 'em. Gordon, obviously the much older fighter that usually doesn't play well at the lower weight classes. He does throw a ton more volume, and Moises does get hit. I don't know. Is Moises gonna be able to out-grapple Gordon? I don't know. Like, is this gonna become just a shitty kickboxing fight? And
I hope so.
Gordon did all right against Hackbarast, who's an okay striker last time out. So
he gets caught.
He gets hit, but I mean, it was Rock'em Sock'em Robots for 3 rounds, and I don't know. I'm staying away. I'll pick Moises, but yeah, it's a tough one.
Wesley.
Yeah, as you can tell, I like Moises here. Like, we're talking about 2 old guys. One's 30 though, the other one's 36. Like, we're talking about a pretty big fucking difference here. Strength of schedule, like Moises has fought like some dudes in this division. And he has problems against big fucking wrestlers, man, that actually take him down and lay on top of him and shit. Jared Gordon's not doing that. He might shoot some takedowns, but he's not the wrestler that he was fighting with Ludwig Klein, that big motherfucker, fucking BSD and shit. Like, that ain't Jared Gordon. I think we're going to see kind of a shitty kickboxing match. And I mean, Gordon might have a little bit more pop, but like, the hand speed, the talent level, the striking difference here, man, that's all Moises, in my opinion. You're getting plus money on him here. I think this is kind of wild. You're seeing plus money on Thiago Moises against Jared fucking Gordon at this point. Fucking 36, ain't fought in like a year, I think now. I like Moises quite a bit here. I'm taking some of that.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that I don't mind when guys take some time off and get better when they're in like the midpoint of their career. Don't love when guys that are 36 and have been knocked out a bunch of times take time off later in their career, because usually they don't come back physically that much better. I guess, if we're thinking about fighters long term, their brain is probably in better shape, but we're not thinking about fighters long term because then we wouldn't be watching them get punched in the head for a living. So, hey, there's that. Yeah, I think Thiago Thiago Moises is a significantly better fighter than Jared Gordon. They both kind of flirted with fighting guys in the top 10, 15. And Moises could actually be competitive with some of those guys. And Gordon, aside from the weird early career or early UFC run Patty fight, has kind of looked like dog shit anytime he's taken that step up. So I like Thiago Moises here. Probably not going to be tuning in at this point, so probably not going to have any sort of compelling bet to take here. But I think he gets the job done. Lightweight division, Mateus Camillo taking on Gabe Green. Wow. Gabe Green, according to Tapology, is the 429th ranked welterweight in the world. I feel like when he came into the UFC, was it even the pandemic yet? Was it even those times, or was it the before times? It had to be close because he's been around for a long time and hasn't fought a lot.
It was
his first
pandemic.
fight was 2020. Yeah, it was pandemic. He fought D-Rod
May 2020. Yeah, he was in
so
peak when it started.
Wow. All right. He's one of those dudes. Shaun, he's back.
He's so back. The guy he's fighting, I mean, we don't see very often anymore. This isn't a late notice fight. The guy he's fighting didn't come through Contender Series, didn't come through like LFA or anything like that. Like, I know he's got some Fury FC fights, but his last one was out in ZFN, out in South Korea.
Yeah.
So it's a bit interesting. You don't see that much anymore. The debut fighter not going the normal stream. So maybe he is something. I checked out the fighters that he fought. They have okay records. Are they real records? Who knows? But Gabe Green hasn't fought he didn't fight in 2024. He pulled out of his only fight that he was lined up to go. I probably got to take the debut guy. Gabe Green's not very good.
Wes?
Was this guy on an episode of King of Queens fighting Doug Heffernan's brother or cousin, Jake Heffernan? Man, look, this guy's fighting Fury FC, LXF, Fury FC 83, Tough Enough, ZFN 2. Look, if Gabe Green wasn't just an absolute shit stain, I'd probably have to take a shot here. Because who the fuck is this guy? Who does he know? Is it Ali? Fucking Ed Suarez still got connects at fucking, I don't know, man. I don't know if I've seen this guy. So it's a complete pass for me. But fuck, man, if Gabe Green wasn't so fucking horrible, I'd probably take a little shot on him. But yeah, just probably a pick and tell, master. But I'm going to pass on a bet.
Honestly, this feels wrong. Like I've never seen the one dude, but like I've seen Gabe Green actually fight decent fighters and sometimes give them a good fight
every now and then,
this
right?
other like he got obviously obliterated by Brian Battle, which is the most embarrassing thing that could happen to anyone.
I don't know anymore. Shit.
I was gonna say, except Wes constantly betting against him and losing.
I've never been more wrong about a shitty fighter than Brian Battle.
But like he's fought Ian Gary, he's fought Phil Rowe, he's fought Daniel Rodriguez, like he's fought actual fighters, and every time I've seen him fight, he's given a dude a fight. And he's over plus 200 against some dude I've never heard of who's fought a bunch of dudes that I've never heard of in promotions that I've never heard of. That's like, that all just adds up to maybe this Camillo dude has the greatest manager of all time, or maybe he's training at some camp, which, like, I don't even know.
He's
It doesn't
fighting.
seem like anybody.
He's training in Extreme Couture, so that might have something to do with it.
Oh,
Gotcha.
is he? Okay.
So, like, maybe they see something in him and they're just like, oh, this kid is the next hot shit. I'm willing to put $100 on him not being, when I'm getting plus 200 against a guy that I know is going to give him a fight, even if he hasn't been around for a while. So I'll take the risk. Main card time. Just before we do that, Jeff, we did not talk about the shitty title fights that got announced. So no, we did not cover that one. We only covered the Do Bronx ones. Yeah. No, I think you were talking about the guy that's fighting Connor Matthews. I don't think he's going to lose his 0 because he's fighting Connor Matthews. Yeah. So, all right, there we go. Caught up. Main card time, featherweight division. Juicy J, Julian Erosa, and the Milk Weasel. I was on the Milk Weasel train before everyone. I love it.
He was.
There we go. Shaun, what do we got here?
Juicy J is a guy that I think when I look to bet against him, he shows up and looks very good. You know, he did what he had to do against Elkins. We know what Elkins is in 2025, but the Christian Rodriguez fight, that's pretty impressive. C-Rod's a decent fighter. The Ricardo Ramos fight, you know, in hindsight, that's not much, but and then there's the other fights. If we go back a little further, where I think I bet on him to beat Alex Caceres and that Fernando Padilla, and then he gets smoked. So I don't really have a good angle on him. If you look at these fights, most of them are ending in the first round. You know, when Milk Weasel has lost, it's been, you know, before the third for the most part. I would probably look at a total maybe in this fight to be a little bit safer, but yeah, under 2.5 is like minus 180. That's tough. So I'd probably just pass. I don't know. Milk Weasels look better as of late. But Juicy J's got some pretty good finishing, so I'll probably pick the underdog.
Yeah, they're both a bit susceptible to getting finished, but and like also susceptible to throwing out a little finish there. So it's an interesting one. Wesley, what you got?
Well, I mean, one angle is, Juicy's won 3 in a row, and every time Juicy wins,
it's time.
It's time for him to get like comically fucking knocked out. Is what happens. Yeah, look, I just think Juicy he wins these fights and guys that, you know, he just gets favorable finishes with these chokes and shit. Guys put themselves in. Elkins just throw that shit out. Like, that's just, we kind of saw that coming. Like, Christian Rodriguez gets caught in a fucking choke. He catches Ricardo Ramos in a choke. Fights dudes that throw like Padilla and fucking knocks his ass out. Caceres, that's fluky. I mean, Juicy J's 35 at this point, been clocked so many times. I mean, even in some of these fights he wins, man, when he gets touched, he's loopy as shit. So Milk Weasels look very good recently. Like, that guy's taken his game up a level. If Juicy doesn't get some fluky fucking choke again or something, it's possible, don't get me wrong. But I don't see it against Milk Weasel. I think he's leveled his game up like that. If this is on the feet, like, I think his hands are cleaner. They both have the finishing ability, but Milk Weasel inside is plus money. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it. I don't really want to parlay him or anything like that just because of that Juicy J kind of flukeness shit. But 35-year-old Juicy J in a fight where a guy has finishing ability, I like Milk Weasel inside the distance at plus money.
So, just so you people don't think that Wes is just saying shit, Juicy J, 3 wins on Tough 22, and then he gets smoked in a minute by Artem. All right,
Fucking low.
to the regional scene, won a bunch of fights, made it back to the UFC. 3 wins with a Contender Series win, getting him back into the UFC over Jamal Emmers. Solid win. Gets smoked in 46 seconds by Devontae Smith. Loses a couple more fights in the UFC, goes back to the regional scene, wins one, comes back to the UFC during the pandemic. 3 wins in a row, including over Nate the Train and Shaun Woodson. Gets smoked in a minute 37 by Sungwoo Choi.
That did not age well.
Sticks around in the UFC, though. Picks up wins over Charles Jourdain, Steven Superman Peterson, Hakeem Dawodu. Good wins. Smoked in 3 minutes by Alex fucking Caceres.
Head kick.
With the head kick. And now, Ricardo Ramos, Christian Rodriguez, Darren Elkins, 3 solid wins.
It's time.
Folks, I think we know what we have to do here. I mean,
What's round
like-
1 KO?
round 1 is plus 450. Round 1 KO plus 575. Get that at some of the legals. You'll probably get like 6, 7, 8 on the J-Man. And Bob's your uncle. Enjoy your time. But that's what we're doing. Shaun, how are you holding up after the first period?
Yeah, it's not too much going on. Skinner looks all right, but I mean that's usually the case until he lets a terrible one
Until
in.
it
So
isn't.
I
All right.
hate when a power play gets split up by the end of a period. It seems like
Yeah,
it
it's not
kills the momentum into your second minute of it.
Yep, but
It can.
whatever. It's we're hanging in there.
Anyway, there we go.
I got
we're
a
hanging
lot
in
of
there
money
too.
riding on an Edmonton win tonight, so I got stuff all over
just
it.
tonight.
Well, I mean, they close out the series tonight with a win, and I got a lot of money on a lot of shit with Edmonton tonight.
Yep.
That's fair. That's fair. Still chances.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are on to the middleweight division. Nursultan Rozaboyev taking on Dustin Stoltzfus. This is a middleweight fight. Shaun.
Yeah, Ruzaboyev, he had that one fight at welterweight against Buckley, and I bet on him, and because I hate Buckley and don't think he's good, and obviously got put in my place there. And then he went back to 85. I don't know. His number seems a bit wide. I mean, I guess Ruzaboyev just, I think he's a bit of an unknown, and I think because of that and because of his size, he kind of gets bet a decent amount. Honestly, if I was looking at something in this fight, I'd probably look at the under. I know it's 1.5, and there's a little bit of juice there, but Stoltzfus can get knocked out quick and has some knockouts, and Ruzaboyev has a bunch of first round finishes. So that's the play I would do, but right now I'm probably not going to do anything with this, and I will pick Ruzaboyev, but that number's a bit wide.
Wes?
Yeah, I think Ruzaboyev probably wins this fight, probably gets a finish at some point. I'm not laying that kind of juice or anything. Him inside the distance is fucking chalked up. I actually personally kind of was looking at the over 1.5. the first is going to be shaky, but I don't know. Stolstis, when guys kind of get in his face, which I think Ruzaboyev is going to do, he'll grab on the guys and try to pull guard and shit on dudes and shit. So I think the first, if it gets a little bit grapply like that, you could see a second round and get that over 1.5. But it's shaky, man. It's still Stolstis. That guy could be dead at any moment. So fight's just probably complete pass for me.
Is there like a tariff on guys with Russian sounding names or something? Is that like an executive order that Trump did?
Well, they're trying to
there's
pull
no
the
fucking
tariffs
way.
off of Russia. It should be way lower, right?
There's no fucking way that this dude he's fought 4 times in the UFC. He's fought one good fighter and lost to him at a lower weight class. He's not good. Stoltzfus kind of stinks too, so I'm not exactly rushing to bet him. And he's had those weirdly quick finishes in a lot of his recent fights. But I think that Wes is on something with the over 1.5 here. You don't get those at even money a lot in middleweight fights, especially middleweight fights. So I think this is going to take a little bit of time. So I am more than willing to throw a couple bucks on the over 1.5 at like -110. If you can find it better than that, somewhere closer to the fight time, I think that's good. But yeah, I like the over here. I don't think that either of these guys are actually good, and it's kind of sad that they're both like top 50-ish middleweights in the world at this point. But hey, this is life in 25. Lightweight next, we've got Sadiq Yusuff. Do we have to worry about like weird gambling shit with him? No, he's a
one
of the guys with like the rape dude.
Yeah. He's a friend of the rapist.
And Brad's internet is a friend of the rapist.
No,
There he is.
There he's back.
There he is.
Started a new show or something upstairs. I'm that's the point I was getting to, anyways.
It's like she's on the fucking. Oh man! Started a new show.
I can hear something coming from up there. So
yeah. Did you throw it my way, Brad?
And I know she's on her phone at the same time. So okay. It is what it is. Anyways, he's taking on Myron Santos, who beat Francis Marshall last time out. Shaun? ?
According to a couple of judges, but that's about it. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised by these odds. I know Yusuff is obviously coming off that pretty brutal finish by Dio Lopez. Probably good for him that he's taken over a year off for his brain health at this point. But Marin Santos is just not that good. Like he didn't win that Marshall fight. I don't think he looked that impressive in that fight. This is gonna be a kickboxing fight, and Yusuff has good stand up. That Barboza fight that he ended up losing, he looked great in the first 2 rounds. He just gassed. That's not going to be a problem in this fight. It's only 3 rounds. Yeah, I like Yusuff here. I just think he's going to be the better kickboxer.
Wes?
Yeah, as one of the idiots that still watches Tough, I got to see Santos on there, and look, I will say the kid is decent. He's still only 24 years old. He trains at a really good gym. But man, he lost to Francis Marshall, and he didn't just lose by like getting out grappled by Francis Marshall, who that's what that kid wants to do. He was getting like pieced up by Francis Marshall, and like that's what Santos wants to do is kickbox. he's gonna get that with Yusuff here. And man, Yusuff has fought like the top of the division and shit. Like he fought Diego Lopez and shit. Like we know how good that guy is. Like that was a kind of a bad loss the way it ended, but not the level of competition of the dude that he was fighting there. And man, Santos has fought literally nobody. He's like some kid that was on tough. Like this guy was all shy and shit. Like this is what the kind of, as long as he's been around the fight game, I just think this is a different level, man. We talked about layoffs a lot on the show tonight. This was a good layoff. 31 years old, coming off a knockout like that. Take some time off, reset. I don't mind a year layoff for Yusuff. He fought a lot over the past few years. I mean, I think since 22, he's got 4 fights from 22 to 24. Like he was fighting a couple times a year. Took a bad knockout there. Like take some time off. I just think this is kind of man versus kid in this point. It's not like Yusuff's old. He's only 31. He's a dog here to a dude that probably lost all 3 rounds to Francis fucking Marshall. I love Yusuff in this fight. Favorite bet on the card. Will be taking quite a bit.
I think Wes sold it pretty well. I don't have to go much further than that. I think that this does stay on the feet. Santos is, for the rare time in his career, going to face somebody that is as or more athletic than him. So he's not just going to be able to rely on like speed and power to beat a dude to the punch and win that way. He's actually going to have to figure some shit. I haven't seen that from him in any of his fights yet. So I like Sodiq Yusuff as well. I think that even though he, kind of stole our bit for a bit during the pandemic, breaking down fights and making a mockery as they deserved, we still like him. He's up our alley. And he is definitely up our alley as plus 115 underdog here, Shaun. So he's going to be the consensus bet of the week. There we go.
That's kind of wild.
Co-main event, light heavyweight division. Balato taking on Hokrig Berju. Shaun.
205 chin Berju.
That's right. 205 plus beard. Like, imagine the kind of punch that skinny ass Shaun could take with that beard on his chin. Like that man can take some heat. So imagine what the Berju can do at 205. Like 300 pounds heavier than Shaun.
Pretty much. Yeah, I don't think this is going to end well for old Berju. I guess this, you lose 3 straight at 85. I guess you got to go back up to 205, but this might be the final one. So I guess enjoy it while he's here. But Belato's probably going to smash him and finish him.
Sad, Wes.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Like Craig he's just not looked good lately getting touched at all. Like if you just lay any kind of hands on him, he just can't take the punches anymore. Like moving back up to 205 help, like maybe a little, but man, Bellotto throws fucking hammers. I'm not sure Berju can get a couple takedowns here. I don't know if he can get it down. So if he can't, it's just kind of par for the course now with Berju. He's probably in trouble if he can't get some early takedowns. I might take a little bit of the under. I think either which way, this fight is not going to go very long. Bellotto's going to catch something, or Berju's going to work some kind of takedown, and he'll get a sub, but small on that. Don't really like too much.
You don't think the Berju is going to wait until the last second before subbing him?
I think he's going to get knocked out in the first round, actually. But
Yeah, he's gonna get knocked out in the first round, but then he's gonna like
then choke
lay
him
on
in
his
the
back
third.
and get woken back up, and then
Can I get like a
I
halftime?
mean,
Can I get a halftime full time bet here? You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it's this is a dude, like you guys have said, he likes to throw hammers, and he does, but like his striking's not good. This guy's almost as much of a grappler as he is a striker. He is willing to get on top of dudes, and Berger just needs to throw enough little jabs, just flick it out there, flick the front kick out there. He'll coax him into a takedown, and then you're in the bear trap, baby. That's and that's what's happening here. Berger sub plus 800. I mean, it hasn't been that high for a while, so you can't blame a man for trying when it comes to the Berger. We're gonna go like half, like 50 on a sub, just for fun, just because why not? If he's gonna win, if he doesn't win, as Jeff said, he's done in the UFC, and
yeah.
I don't want to live in a world where there's a UFC without a Berger, so that can't happen. And also, like, I'd be fine living in the world without Berger in the UFC. He'd probably be a lot like Cage Warriors would do a great job marketing the Berger. So that's a
Did
little.
he even
bit
have
of
a 205 weight class?
They'd make one for him. Doesn't even matter. They've got who is it? Like Carl Allen, some dude. That sounds like a generic enough British name that he could be real. In the 205 division for Berger to show up and sub. That'll be fun. I'll watch that.
Set up the Eddie Hall fight. Fuck it. Just move on.
There you go.
Set up the
Now
Eddie Hall Super Clash.
That will be the fight for Scottish independence.
Right.
Wins.
If
Scotland
you can sub this guy,
full
y'all
independence.
are free for life.
I think we've nailed it. But first, before all that happens, Berger subs Adolfo Bellato, this Brazilian clown who's going to take him down.
Co-main event.
Fall right into the trap. Might knock him out like 3 or 4 times along the way, but that's just part of the Berger experience. It's what it is. Main event, 170 pounds. Allegedly, one guy belongs here. One guy, the dude Giblert, has no business being up here. But he's taken on Michael Morales and Shaun. I feel like if they're going to keep the Apex thing going on, these sorts of fights are probably the way to do it, because this isn't exciting anybody otherwise.
Yeah, this is just kind of getting a young guy a name win.
Yep.
I think Morales is going to stuff any takedowns, and he is going to light Gilbert up on the feet. Gets a finish, probably in the second round. So I like the under 3.5. I got it at like minus 126. I took it for 3 units. It's going to be sad.
Ooh, that's a lot of money for sadness. Wes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be the point that Gilly Burns is like, we'll all see that he's just done at this level of fighting. I get that he was having a really good performance against JDM, but man, when it went like he started slowing down bad, then gets caught with the knee and stuff. Like his cardio doesn't even hold up for what he wants to try to do in fights anymore. Lot of grappling and trying to get guys down at this point. Shit. this could get ugly. I think this is probably going to be. This might just be the end of Gilbert Burns fighting, because I don't think he's going to stick around to be like some stepping stone and get a guy a name. But I think this is what's going to happen for Morales. They're going to get a name on his resume, and Morales is good, man. He's a really, really good fighter. Massive dude for the division. So like he's got everything working for him, and this should get a name on his resume. And I kind of like where Shaun's at on this fight. I like the under 3.5. Kind of saves you if Burns pulls off anything fucking stupid. But I think Morales second, third round eventually gets Gilbert Burns out of there. I think that Burns' tank just deserts him so fast now that Morales will be able to pile up the stuff early to get him out of there in the probably the third round. So I don't mind that under at all.
Yeah, kind of feeling the same thing here. Burns, like, he's obviously got the skills pretty much everywhere, but his best way to win this fight is early. If he doesn't win it early, he knows that it's not going to go well for him later. So hopefully that leads to him actually being aggressive and looking for something. I'm not really sure what massive gaps we've seen in Morales' game to this. I'm sure that Gilbert Burns, if they were going to have a jiu-jitsu match, would be significantly better than him. But a jiu-jitsu match. So I don't think that really comes into play.
Takedown defense is very, very good now as well.
Yeah. Striking, like, he doesn't have the cleanest striking, but it's not like Gilbert does either. He's going to swang some things and hope. Morales at least is a lot longer. If he just like keeps things straight in this fight, then he should have a lot of success on the feet. And the longer the fight, the more that's going to happen. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning the same way towards the under. I don't necessarily think I'm going to bet it, just because like I'm not betting a lot on anything here. But I think that Morales gets it done. It's kind of that showcase performance for him. And just to clean things up before we go, Rick, I don't know what's with all the guys vacating. It's like the very opposite of what happened a decade or 12, 15 years ago, where Dana wouldn't let guys move up at all to fight for titles, no matter how long, like who you were or how long you've been fighting or defending the belt. Like, nobody could move up. And I guess the only way that they could have done that was by vacating their titles. So maybe it's just like coming full circle. But it kind of sucks, especially when it's guys like Topuria that haven't come, like, he's had one title defense. You're nowhere close to clearing out your division. What are you doing moving up a weight class? Stuff like that. Just like, I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me. Sorry, Wes, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I just think it's all like promotional now. It's like they don't have a Connor anymore, so they're trying to manufacture a star and like a double champ or with Topuria, I think they just blew that one because he's a star regardless, and he's got guys to fight in his division. He's a massive star in Spain and Europe and shit, like pretty known here already, and he should be. Like, he's fucking one of the best fighters on the planet. But yeah, I think it's all promotional. It's like nobody gives a fuck about mac and cheese, doing this and that anymore. Like, I mean, the JDM thing, like, but I think it's promotional now. They need belts. That's why there's interim belts, and this is a title fight. This is a double champ fight. They just need the promotion now because they don't have a Connor. They don't have John Jones fighting 3 times a year and shit. Like, it's just it ain't.
They haven't marketed any of the guys that are currently champions, so they have to be like, "Hey, this guy's a multiple weight class champion. Come watch him. He must be great."
Yep, and then this
Yeah,
guy's
it's,
an interim champ. Like they're fighting for interim belts and this because it's a title fight. And well, we got 2 title fights on this pay-per-view card, not mentioning that they're both interim fucking titles and shit. Like it's all for promotion at this point, man.
Yep. Fun times. Fun times. As you said, I think when I was like running downstairs or going to grab a beer or something, like we've watched the peak and we have watched it come all the way down that hill, and like
We're at it.
yeah, I this is just what it is in this
Yeah.
era. Until like the way we consume media changes, we're gonna get a UFC card 90% of the weeks a year, and there are not enough good fights and fighters to fill up all those cards. So we're gonna get a lot of shit, and it's cheaper for them to produce this shit in a warehouse than somewhere else. So
yeah, we're in the era of cheap content on every form of media, and sports and the fight game in particular is all in on that. This next phase of MMA is going to be by far the worst that we've ever seen with the new UFC deal, the content they're going to have to put out. And I find it very fucking funny that for the past however many years, all of these high and mighty MMA motherfuckers are like, we're not boxing. We're not boxing. Guess what? You have jumped over boxing. You ain't even a top heavy card every week anymore. You can't even get a good fight at the top anymore. You get so many. We're getting Macy Barber top of the card coming up in a couple weeks. Boxing ain't doing that, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've gone beyond and that's fucking sad, man. It really is. We've gone to a new low in the MMA space, man.
I'd rather see some of the old like Pride squash matches than
give me a freak show.
Than some of the
But they're
stuff
too good to do
used-
freak show shit.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Allegedly.
That's not sporting enough.
Yeah.
Man, this is a sport. Anyway, I think that's enough for us. We want to get out of here. We want to watch some puck.
We'll see in 3 weeks for a decent fight card, a pay-per-view.
We got to go almost a month to get a fucking good card.
Sounds great to me.
Yeah. There just shouldn't be anything in between.
Thanks.
Don't give us shit in between. We don't need it.
Go.
Go Oilers.
Go Oilers.
Normally I have something to say during the outro, but I think we're just done.
Go Oilers.